Hello, friends. I am back. I've been missing in action for a little while, and there's a reason. Well, first of all, it took me a little bit of time to I guess I just needed to sit back and process some of the things that were happening within me emotionally, and and then I had to let some stuff go. So sometimes in life, you have to understand as much as you want something to happen, especially when it comes down to relationships, as much as you want to be in a relationship with someone who may be stringing you along for whatever their reasons are, you really have to pay attention to what they're doing and not what they're saying. Because sometimes people, they just want to be nice, they don't want to hurt your feelings. Nobody wants to be seen as the bad guy. And so they basically tell you what you want to hear in a nutshell, just so that so that they don't seem like the bad guy. And so I really had to not start taking, but really like buckle down and take my own advice and really listen to what I'm saying out loud to you guys, and just take it for myself. So if somebody is telling you that they miss you, let's just say, for example, and then they don't make any efforts to see you, then they don't miss you, they lying. So, yeah, I had to really sit down and take a step back and process some of that information. And now I'm back. But today I'm not going to be continuing where I left off with the book. I'm going to share a little story time with you. It's got a little story time, a little bit. So I decided, I know that I mentioned before in one of my previous videos that I do not like the online dating thing. Been there, done that. It hasn't worked for me. And so someone was saying to me, or the question was posed to me, when you were doing online dating, when you were participating in online dating, what were you really looking for? And the person said to me, sometimes we just go on to a platform and we say, let me look and see what's out there. And we really don't have any serious intentions on meeting anyone seriously. Even though we think we do, if we really sit down and look at it, we're really not thinking about the long haul. So sometimes little things will throw us off, like the person has missing teeth in the front of their mouth, or little things like that some people may be meticulous about. Although my teeth are not perfect, that is a thing for me. Like, you gotta have front teeth, you gotta have teeth. But anyway, I said, okay, so maybe that was a thing. Let me go and let me try again. I think that because of my schedule, really, I'm not really putting myself out there in the places that I need to be in order to meet people that are my caliber. And when I say my caliber, it's not to sound conceited, but it's about time for me to add tax to who I am, right? Because I've grown, I've come a long way, and I gotta charge what I'm worth, so to speak, plus tax. I cannot continue to feel like that could have been me, that might have been me. I feel sorry for you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you the way. I don't want a project, a person that that I have to play therapist to, right? So anyway, I decided, all right, so let me try not to be as shallow as some people might say that I'm being or that I am, and let me start doing this again. Let me just see what's out there. And so it came about for a short period of time, and I don't really know why it bothered me so much. And I really think I was being catfished, to really be honest, to keep it all the way 100. So some guy likes me, and then I said, oh, okay, let me look at this guy. Well, I can see he looks older, and I like the younger look, but he looks a little older. Maybe that's something that I can do. We had a lot of stuff in common. I'm like, okay. A lot of the things that I said I wanted, it was like, okay. So we're going back and forth, and the vibe seems great and everything. And we're answering each other, responding right away. But I am really taking heed to all the precautions that they tell you on the platform, such as, you know, obviously don't give anybody money because I wasn't going to do it in the first place. But there are a lot of red flags to me that stick out on this particular website. A lot of people are in the military. They always have this kind of story, or, just look out for red flags. Stuff like they want to jump off of the platform right away, get your number, and start communicating with you on the outside. They tell you, always meet in a group or a place that you're familiar with. Always, I guess, have money to get yourself out of a situation, stuff like that. It's stuff that's common sense, but, maybe not to everybody. Common sense is not common anymore, I know. But either way, playing it safe, going back and forth. And I'm still thinking it's a possibility that this person is a catfish. So I'm not saying anything really, like I'm not like, oh my gosh, you look so good. Oh my gosh, I'm not doing any of that. It's like a back and forth, a normal back and forth thing that I think that people do when you haven't met each other in person. You're trying to get to know each other. You ask questions like, do you have any children? What do you do for fun? Questions like that. And so we get to the children. And I said, well, I see that you mentioned that you have children. How many do you have? And he says, he has two, a boy and a girl. He tells me the ages, and I'm like, oh, okay. He says, what about you? So he's asking a question back. He's responding, right? So I'm like, okay. Well, and I'm telling him I have two children, and I'm telling him my ages and whatnot. And almost immediately, dude responds back, and he says, oh, we are not compatible. This is not going to work. You said that you're looking for friends. Any woman that says that she's looking for friends just wants to sleep with a whole bunch of guys. And I think that's disgusting. And we're definitely not compatible. I'm looking for someone that's going to be committed. I'm looking for somebody that's going to be in a committed relationship. I hope you find what you're looking for. I'm not it. Something to that at the end. I don't think he said I'm not it, but I'm paraphrasing. And I was so thrown off, so confused. And I said, hold on. I had to go back and look at what I said in my profile, right? So I'm like, hold on. I was like, well, first of all, I didn't want to come across like I'm begging. You could kick rocks because it ain't that serious. But I didn't say that. So I come and I said, first of all, thank you for being honest. That's what I started with. And I said, second of all, what? Where are you coming from? I said, I didn't even remember what I had in my profile at that time, to be honest. And I said, to me, friendship is getting to know someone. I said, first of all, that has nothing to do with sleeping with. I'm not sleeping with this, that, and that guy. And first of all, I said, to me, friendship means getting to know someone, not just jumping into what you want to call a serious relationship before you get to know the person. You don't know whether you're compatible or not. So getting to know each other, to me, is developing a friendship. Being friendly just has nothing to do with sex. I said, second of all, and then I had to go back to my profile and look and see what I wrote. I said, second of all, I'm sure that I mentioned in my profile, I'm certain that I actually said that I'm not looking for a situationship. I specifically said I am not looking to have sex with a bunch of guys. I'm not looking for a sexual relationship or a situationship. I said, I'm paraphrasing, but I said, I'm looking to be friends, to get to know each other, and possibly that friendship. Guys say this shit all the time. And possibly that friendship will lead to something, I said that will lead to marriage in the distant future. Because a lot of times people see you and they say you're a single parent and they feel like you want to rush it. I ain't rushing into nothing. I do not have the urgency to rush and get married to somebody and all of that I just met. Red flags. And so, and then I mentioned, and if I remember correctly, in your profile, the first thing that it says where you're what you're looking for is friendship. It says friendship, dating, serious relationship, something like that. And I said, if I'm not mistaken, your profile actually says that. This dude, I guess he read it because I was still able to send it, and then it was after whatever, and then he deleted me. He blocked me. So it said, you cannot respond to this user, yada yada yada, whatever. And you know what? For a minute, it was more than a minute, but I'm just using this term. For a minute, I was hurt. I was like, yo, bro, where is this coming from? I thought about it. I went back. I looked through my profile. And then I said to myself, it took me a minute. And I still thought there's a possibility that I was being catfished. But either way. And I said, yo, bro, no. No. I don't accept it. I'm not changing anything that I said. I was going to go back and tweak. What if somebody else is thinking the same thing? What if they read it and they got the wrong message just like he did? And I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not changing a thing. I know what I said, and if you're literate, you can understand and read what I said. I said what I said, and I meant what I said, and I'm not changing it. I said to myself, I'm not going to feel disgusting or nasty or any of that stuff that he said. And then I was asking a friend, and she was basically saying it sounds like he might not have looked at your profile in the beginning and felt like, oh, this is a quick lay, and then saying, oh yeah, maybe we're vibing or whatever. Let me go back and forth. Let me go back and look, and then seeing where I said, I'm not looking for a situationship. I'm not looking for sex partners. Maybe that was a turn off. Like, oh no, I'm not doing this, and I have to say something that's going to seem legitimate. And maybe it was just a damn catfish, and that's what I'm choosing to believe. Either one. I don't even know why I was offended at first. What I'm about to say, no sweat off my back. It took me a minute to come to that conclusion, only because I was so thrown off. But yeah. So basically, I don't even want to say I'm still looking, because even though I signed up for a dating website, and even though I am interested in eventually being in a relationship, I don't feel pressed. I feel like this. If you're not adding to what I already have, because I'm already a full and whole person, if you are not adding to that fullness and wholeness, then I don't need you. If someone is coming to my life that's going to add stress and that's going to add anxiety to my life, I don't need it. If I got to turn around and think and guess and try to figure out what you're feeling, try to figure out if you're interested, try to figure out if you like me, try to figure out if you're interested, I don't need it. No, thank you. Because it's just not that serious. I had somebody come out of nowhere, and I kind of feel like, some people understand that you've had enough, and you sat and you haven't communicated with them, and time has passed, and they're like, oh shit, she hasn't reached out to me, she hasn't said anything to me, what's going on? And I feel like sometimes that gets to people's ego. And so I had someone reach out to me who I haven't spoken to in a while, and I still don't have any malice towards him. I didn't have any then, and I still don't have any malice towards him. And he reached out, and he just said some off the wall kind of stuff, and I didn't know how to react. Like, bro, And it wasn't necessarily bad. it wasn't like bad, but it indicated that he had some stuff, that he had some feelings going on there, for me in a way, that he was thinking about for a long time. And so I guess my response, I guess he wasn't expecting my response. And so it was almost like a push and pull. So his response triggered me to respond. And I guess he wasn't expecting that to be my response. And then it was like, okay, so sometimes you got to sit down and think about and look at a situation for what it is. And so in my head, it was like, okay, this is what it is. So if this is what it is, then let's go with that. And then the person was like, he was like, oh, okay. And then he disappeared again. And I just think that's so stupid. But in the same token, it's like, was all of that to feed your ego? Like you really need attention like that? You really need attention? Like you couldn't just let it go? Like we couldn't just die off? You just needed for me to contact you? Okay, there you go. And some stupidity. Either way, it took me a minute to kind of sit back and brush all of that off. And I am living my best life. And living my best life doesn't mean that I don't have any, issues or any problems going on and whatnot, but just not letting it get to me. And putting one foot in front of the other every day and just striving to be a better me today than I was yesterday. And so, yeah, that's in a nutshell. I've been missing in action. I've been doing some entertaining and fun things. I'll talk about that in another video. But I will come back to the book. I ran into a lady yesterday that was one of my biggest mentors. I don't know that she knows this. Back in the day, we worked together in a school, and she was also my daughter's, one of my daughter's kindergarten teachers, and another teacher that I used to work with. And it was so nostalgic, and they haven't aged, and it's been over 10 years since I've seen them, and they haven't aged a bit. And so basically one of them was saying to me, oh, I miss your videos. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh, thank you. Like I watched them or whatever. So shout out to you. And I decided to come back in and make another one. I'm still here, still alive. Thank God. And yeah, that's it. That's enough story time for today. So thank you for listening. For those of you that subscribed, thank you for subscribing. For those of you that are new to the channel, or you're just passing through and you just happen to see this randomly somewhere and you're listening and you can relate to anyone who can relate, drop a comment. Each one teach one. Keep it respectful, because I will block you. Yeah, let's keep the discussion going. Each one teach one. Have a great evening, or whatever time of the day you're watching this. Make this evening, even I'm going to go as far as make tomorrow, although tomorrow's not promised to us. Make your days great days. Make your evening a great evening. Take control. Grab the bull by the horns. Love, peace, and hair grease.